WTF. Jonathan Milott, Cary, Murnion, please come back up.
Thanks a lot, guys. That was really fun watching it with you. I can tell you guys were as twisted as us. Really warped. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything.
Yeah, down front.
Do you eat meat?
Not after this, man. Yeah, that's we kind of enjoyed filming that because I think it's hopefully that's kind of an underlying theme that processed food is not good.
The funniest thing was when we were filming that opening sequence, it was really just disgusting. It was smelly and gross, and one of the crew was just sitting there eating chicken the whole time. Not phased at all.
I don't know if you guys waited before. Did you guys see the fly poop?
Yes.
Now, just a little story about that. You know, we were focused down on the skin of the chicken. You know, it's a macro shot, and we're just like, oh, let's get some details of the skin. A fly flies into the screen, lands on the chicken, and we're like, oh my God, we got the fly on us. And then it proceeds to poop. I don't think that's ever been caught on camera. So we were very proud of that shot. Make sure you saw it. Any other questions?
Were any children harmed?
Yeah, there are no children harmed, and we made a big effort to try to make sure that the kids like who were playing the Cooties, that they're having fun. It's kind of surprising, actually, the blood and stuff does not faze kids at all. I mean, you know, it's because, you know, you see behind the scenes stuff, you know, they see how they make it, and so they were actually playing with it without us even trying. So it's actually kind of nice. They did, yeah, they actually loved it. Any other questions?
Did the kids have like a ton of fun making this movie?
Yeah. John, want to speak to that?
I was thinking that this was like the dream kid job.
Well, it's funny because, you know, you think that, but then, you know, after about 6 hours playing in the sun, they do tend to kind of like lose their energy a bit. So it was fun because we just kept playing games with them and, you know, kept them going. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Anything else? Down here in the left?
Where does the film go from here?
Yeah, and I think we left it open. There at the end titles, it could spread. Who knows? You know, I think we like the idea of kind of exploring, you know, whether it's in one of these places or whether it kind of spreads to bigger places. But it is open. I mean, and all the characters are maybe alive. You know, who knows what happens to them? But yeah, we like the idea of kind of what this would happen to the rest of the country. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, we're hoping, it's funny because, you know, we're constantly texting the producers, what's going on? So then when there was some kind of leak today that something was going on, so that's kind of news to us as well. So we're kind of in the same boat as you right now, just hoping it gets picked up and gets, you know, wide audience.
And that's the idea. We want everyone to see it. There in the back of the white.
Thank you. Could you explain it, or not explain, talk about the casting process, how you got some like Elijah Wood, some of the other people involved?
Yeah, sure. Number one, Elijah's a producer on this project, so he was in it from the very beginning, and this started about 3 years ago with a partner of his, Josh, with his idea, and then he brought the movie to his friends. But then in terms of the casting, everyone wants to work with Elijah. You know, Elijah's an amazing actor, as you see here, and he's another professional, and so he was a big draw for the other characters. And then we didn't want to do a traditional horror cast. I think we wanted to kind of bring in people who you might not expect to be in this kind of situation. I mean, Alison Pill is one of our favorite actresses, and I think she kind of nailed it here with Lucy. And then, you know, Rain, he kind of, I think, uses some of his white stuff, but completely flips it on its head. And we really liked kind of playing with your preconceptions of each character, because we wanted to kind of get you to know them really quick. So with Jack McBrayer too, like I think we automatically know him right at the bat, but then he flips halfway through. So we wanted to kind of get this eclectic group.
Yeah, it was funny because, you know, it was our first feature film, so when we're meeting with people like Rain Wilson, who was kind of one of the first ones after Elijah, it was kind of like, who's interviewing who here? And, you know, then we went on to, you know, Alison Pill after that, and it was just so clear when we talked to her that she just kind of got exactly what we wanted to do. But it was a funny process because it was our first feature.
And she really got the whole, I mean, we were like, oh, you want to do this film? And she's like, yeah, I see these amazing undertones of processed food, but also the kids, being suppressed by their parents and them fighting back against the parents and teachers. And she had a whole kind of underlying theme of suppression of these kids. So we love that she kind of took that there. And her character really changes all the way through too as well. And she really wanted to explore this super happy character who then becomes a real badass halfway through. So
She's obviously way more intelligent than us, so that's why we cast her.
any other questions? Ken?
Both at the same time.
Down here in the front?
Who choreographed the janitor's fight scene? That was next.
That's pretty awesome, huh? Yeah, we got a great stunt coordinator named Matt Barbary. He worked really hard with Peter, who's the actor. And Peter did a lot of that himself, and I think it was pretty clear you could see that there.
Peter is, I don't know if you recognize him, he was in Big Trouble in Little China.
So that's a nice little moment. Yeah, that's an awesome scene, we think, and it kind of really shows that the physicality in that. We have some great stunt coordinator do that.
And he was an awesome one to cast as well, because we were in a casting room that was probably 5 feet wide. So we were standing here, and he says, "Oh, I brought my knives. Can I show you my knives?" And he pulls them out, and he's doing his stuff, literally inches from our face. And we're like, "Okay, got it."
Don't kill us. There, right?
Was Commando a big influence to your characters? And if not, was there other movies you could say that maybe influenced you?
Yeah, I mean, Commando actually was not much, just besides that scene, which is kind of a nice, reference to Commando. Some of our references from movies, we kind of want to go off a little bit past your traditional horror films. So, like, we love Raising Arizona as kind of this kind of offbeat, comedy that kind of characters kind of over the top a little bit, but are still grounded in reality. Gremlin is a big influence on us. Spike for us was a big influence for Patriot as kind of our main kind of bad guy. We also love to kind of reference was Zombieland's kind of a good one in terms of tone, and Shaun of the Dead with this kind of mixing of horror and comedy. But those are some of our influences for that. And Breakfast Club was a big influence because of all these people caught in a place and exploring who they are, and I think that comes across as well. Didn't think that, did you? Someone in the back, maybe the one in the red there?
Were there scenes where you were surprised the audience was laughing and screaming?
Yes. And that was great, yeah.
That's why I said you guys are sick. I mean, it has been funny because the first screening we had here at Sundance was the first time we really got to show it to anybody. And so you guys are the second, and we've really been surprised at that scene at the end with the baseball. The baseballs, people have been dying from that. And we're like, okay.
And the other one is when the first kill happens of the kid, and we feel like it's sort of like nervous laughter almost in a way, because it's such an intense scene for us, and that's when really things change. I think up to that point, the teachers are really trying to get like what's going on here, and then when they finally have to, when Wade kills that first kid with the fire extinguisher, it's an intense emotional spot for everyone. And so we kind of heard say nervous laughter of, wow, this is crazy. So I think there's certain moments where it's good to release that, I think, laughter. So it's kind of fun to see that.
And we're glad you like the Mormon joke too.
Yeah. We wanted how that would play here. There in the back as well, the black.
I'm a preschool teacher and I loved it, which is probably for everyone.
No? We all have the thoughts. Just, don't want to act on them, that's all.
Is there a concern about it being so taboo to kill children on screen?
Yeah, we definitely, this is certainly something that we thought about from the very beginning, and one of the big things is that we did not want to have guns in the school. And we also want to make sure that it was pretty clear that at a certain point, there was no turning back on these quote-unquote kids, that they had become something that they couldn't control. And the teachers, they weren't really gleeful, maybe except for the Tatashi, kind of there with the knives, but they weren't really they're trying to survive. And I think we hope that kind of came across in this, and that it's not that they're just going out there slaughtering kids, it's like, let's get out of here when we can, and then making these homemade weapons that they wouldn't really use in normal circumstances. But we definitely thought about that, and I think it's something to talk about and kind of to see what happens with it. But yeah, it's right there for sure.
But I think, especially with Walking Dead now, you can turn on TV every week and see, people getting shot point blank, or zombies, they're zombies now. So if you can make that, leap of faith that, people turn into zombies and they're not people anymore, hopefully it's the same kind of thing with this. That it's not people anymore, they're monsters now.
Children are always monsters.
Time here in front?
Yeah, the scene with the head on the tether ball and the jump rope with the intestines was awesome. Were there any scenes that were like too gross or too funny that you guys took out, or?
I mean, one of my favorite ones that we decided not to put in because it just was a little bit off tone was when Doug, kind of goes for the puke and finds out what's wrong. He comes back and he's like, I was wearing gloves. He did a take where he licks his fingers.
See, even just talking about it kind of gets
And it was disgusting because the stuff was, oatmeal and beans and it was really just gross in real life. So he did that as a kind of improv on one of the takes, and it was like a Saturday Night Live skit where the whole group, the whole cast was trying not to crack up. He was trying not to crack up, but it was a little bit too much in the end.
And just talking, the cast is amazing here, and I think everyone stands out in their own way. I think Lee Wanell played Doug. I mean, no one really knows, he's not one of the name kind of actors in there, but I think he just nailed it in this, and he has some amazing parts. He actually, yes, definitely some round of applause right here. Because he wrote the film, him and Ian Brennan, who Lee created Saw, and Ian created Glee. And you can kind of see that, I think, on screen here, the mix of that. But I think it's each one of them. Ian was the vice principal, and so I think each one of them kind of brought something pretty special to those parts, and we really kind of are glad that they were involved. Any other questions? There in the back in white.
Where was it filmed? Where did you get school?
It's in Los Angeles. We got a school that we were able to stay there for 20 days shooting, which is kind of nice for us to be able to stay in one spot. And that kind of also helped bring in some of the talent, because they were all in LA, and it's a small budget, and we want to get some good people in, and because it's in LA, we were able to film there. And
Could you tell it was LA?
good.
It was supposed to be a bit like Middle America, but okay, that's good.
He has the LA
Any other questions?
pennant.
Okay, here.
Hey, was the girl's reaction to Tamara, like when she reacted to the fire extinguisher going in the head?
Mhm.
What were they reacting to? Like anything, or was that just like straight acting?
That way.
Because she
No.
was real.
They were, our producer, whose idea this was, he's way sicker than any of us here. He is a real twisted guy, but in the best kind of way, and he's really intense. And so he was like, okay, I'm gonna pretend, and he got up there and he was, miming it. So they were reacting to that, and it was terrifying.
It was more terrifying than Rain in a way, but doing it.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's good every time you can have some reaction to something, if it's not really Rain doing the real action, you have some sort of physical thing that they can react to, so it helped. So hopefully that came across. Any other questions? Over there, anything?
Did you consult anybody that's in education? Because there's a lot of things that you got just totally nailed it, so.
I mean, I think Ian, who wrote it, his parents are teachers. So I think he grew up in that kind of situation, and he was I think that he drew from a lot of that, so hopefully that came across as well. In the white back there?
You said there was a reference to Patriot, but was there any other meaning for him being the main villain? Because he gave him a good backstory.
Yeah.
Well, one of the main things with him that is kind of, the little hint is that he stayed back. So he's supposed to be a little bit older than the other kids, that he's almost going through puberty. So
Like he's a little more intelligent.
Yeah, that he's a little bit smarter than the other ones. That's why he turned out the lights, and that's why he was destroying the cell phones, whereas the other kids are just going crazy.
And he's just a dick, too.